What's up, everyone? Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. Oh, Lone. The government is at it again. Look, man. Look, I'm not saying you shouldn't trust the government when it comes to diet. I'm saying that you shouldn't trust the government when it comes to diet. I mean, who'd have thought these health officials, who, by the way, one of their guys, Dr. Fauci, well, he was in front of Congress today, and let's just say it didn't really go his way. He literally said there was no science to what we did, but we had to do it. We had to do it because there was a pandemic. I'm not going to make any comments about that because we are on YouTube. And YouTube loves protecting him. And last time I mentioned his name, I got a strike against my channel. I'm not saying anything about that, but I'm going to talk about maybe, just maybe, we should think twice before the government scientists, before they tell us what to do, before we listen to their advice. And hey, you talk to your doctor, you talk to your dietitian, talk to your mama, talk to your daddy. I don't give a shit who you talk to. But at the end of the day, man, bodybuilders have always eaten clean foods. It's what we do. We take a lot of bad, dirty steroids and we eat a lot of clean foods. It's what we do. It's what we fucking do. But, big but, ultra-processed foods, well, they're calorically dense. So let me give you a little rundown. So back before like the 2000s, like 2010, 2013, you had Alberto Nunez, you had Lane Norton come out with this flexible dieting shit, right? And again, I'm a flexible dieter. I understand that calories in, calories out, right? I get in fights all the time with the keto and the carnivore tards. I get in fights with them all the time. They're like, nah, calories don't matter. It's about, I'm like, yeah, well, why are you fat? Why aren't you shredded? Why am I shredding your show? Well, it's a steroid. Obviously, it's a fucking steroids. But besides the fucking point, besides the point, I understand that calories matter. So if you're not diligently measuring your calories like a flexible dieter, like a Lane Norton, like an Alberto Nunez, if you're not, or like a Marc Lobliner, I literally am that guy. I'm dieting right now. I have my food scale out for every meal. I'm measuring. I'm eating what the fuck I want to eat. But what the fuck do I want to eat? I want nutritious foods that satiate me. I eat a shitload of sweet potatoes, like a lot of sweet potatoes. In fact, my poops actually look like well-formed sweet potatoes. I eat a lot of chicken. I eat a lot of turkey. I eat a lot of ground beef. I do love my outright bars. I'll eat like 2 to 4 of those a day. I love my MTS whey. Again, whey protein, very satiating. Very, very satiating, has an anorectic effect, actually more so than food in some data. So I like to eat things that fill me up, that make me feel good, and then that taste good, and that are nutritionally dense. Again, you look at whey protein. Well, I'll tell you about whey protein. It's food of glutathione. And we learned a lot about that during the pandemic. We learned that glutathione is a master antioxidant. Whey protein actually rivals, if not is more potent than NAC for glutathione. So I'll tell someone, if you're in a very high risk situation where you're at risk of getting sick, take glutathione. But let's go to this article by the Daily Mail. By the Daily Mail, guys. Let's go here. Ready? I will comment as we go. By the way, guys, if you are live with us, on YouTube, on Twitter, feel free to enter the chat. I will do my best to answer everyone's questions. If you are after the fact, I want you to go and comment down below wherever you're at, because it helps the algorithm wherever you're watching this. And of course, to support me, shop at TigerFitness.com. Awesome product. MTS Nutrition Cream. By the way, people keep asking me, when is Ambrosia coming back in stock? Ambrosia will be back in stock at TigerFitness.com tomorrow by the evening time. So load the fuck up. Support us. Please support us. Support companies who don't hate you. Daily Mail, here we go. Ultra-processed foods do not cause obesity, says U.S. government's top diet advisors. Oh, man. Is this like the COVID task force? I wonder if Mike Pence is on this one too. Fuck Mike Pence. Anyway, in bombshell review of current evidence, studies have been biased. They say the studies have been biased. So the government is not biased. They're not trying to protect their mega donors from big food. No, big food. The government is not biased. They do not accept donor money. They do not inside trade. None of that shit. The fucking scientists are biased. These goddamn scientists. The ISSN, Jose Antonio. His name's Jose and the man's not even Mexican. Can someone tell me that? Why are you not Mexican? God damn it. Ultra processed foods demonized for years for supposed effects. He's really not Mexican. It's fucking weird, right? On our waistlines do not actually make people fat, according to a bombshell report. The U.S. government's top dietitians, not in a study. This is just them fucking talking, if I'm not mistaken. They're like, hey guys, wait up. I know we told you to trust the science, but you know what? Fuck the science. We are the science. We're literally prosecuting a former president. He hasn't really committed a crime, at least not a felony that isn't past the statute of limitations. But whatever, fuck it. We're the government. We live in a fucking banana republic on all angles. The U.S. government's top dietitians found limited evidence these foods cause people to gain weight faster than the food after reviewing more than a dozen studies dating back to the 1990s. But the snippets suggest there is nothing intrinsic about processed food that causes obesity, and that the amount of calories one eats is the most important factor for weight gain. Bravo, you dumb motherfuckers. Bravo. I agree with you, but most people do not measure food. Most people do not use fucking Fit Day. Most people do not fucking bring a food scale with them to fucking El Torito. Most people need to be encouraged to eat whole natural foods that satiate you. And that's not a fucking toaster strudel, dumbass. People have been hearing a lot about the health risks of ultra-processed foods recently, which might make this report surprising. Carolyn Williams, a registered dietitian who was not involved in the review, told dailymail.com. Here's a bunch of infographics. Yeah, whatever. Okay. The hell, I don't know what the fuck. Is this an ad? Like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything? The report comes from the U.S. Dietary Guidelines Advisory Committee, the DGAC, whose findings inform nutrition labels and public health recommendations for food. That's scary as fuck. What they're saying is that there's no relationship between ultra-processed foods and larger body size or greater body fat. Dr. Williams told the Daily Mail. They're saying right now we don't have enough conclusive research to come out and say avoid all ultra-processed foods. Now, I agree with that, guys. I like ultra-processed foods. I do. Unfortunately, for a lot of Americans, I believe, and again, quote, fact check me, comment down below, go in the chat, whatever the fuck you want to do. Most Americans, like 70 to 80% of their diet is ultra-processed foods. And I don't even have to prove that. Just go to the grocery store and look at the average person. Don't look at me and my family. We have some ultra-processed foods. My kids are bulking. They're fucking wrestlers. We need to get their calories in. Most of you guys aren't wrestling at the high school level, and you don't burn that many calories. You don't have my fucking fat-burning genetics. Sorry, life isn't fair. God hates you. So, I do agree with them. The report comes from a group of 20 nutrition experts from across the country that are elected by the Department of Health and Human Services and the U.S. Department of Agriculture to draft new nutritional recommendations. The current group has gathered to make recommendations about what Americans should eat from 2025 to 2030. This report will likely inform the new guidelines. They recommend that more research needs to be conducted before they're able to make rules about ultra-processed foods. The report has yet to be made online, but 2 slides were shared in a screenshot from Kevin D. Hall, a nutrition scientist at the NIH. And we know the NIH does nothing but tell the truth and have public health interests in mind. For example, all of the wonderful things they did with lockdown and masking that had so much science to back it up. This is a group of people that obviously loves science and loves evidence and just has our health in mind. And by the way, if you want to just force inject people with an experimental technology, by all means, that's awesome too. That is so awesome. That's awesome. In their report, the DGCA said they had serious concerns about bias in the studies that have linked ultra-processed foods to weight gain. This is chiefly because the definition of ultra-processed food isn't an exact science, which means that the studies may be subject to misclassification bias, misinformation. You know how many times we got cited for misinformation, for saying shit like, hey guys, vitamin D is not bad. What? That's misinformation. You're an anti-vaxxer. I'm an anti-taxer. Stop taxing me so fucking much. Anti-vaxxer. Anti-vax D's nuts. These nuts. This means that studies that use variables that are hard to categorize may lead researchers to draw inaccurate conclusions. There's a system for classifying ultra-processed foods called NOVA that was developed by Brazilian scientists who first started looking at the topic in the 1990s. There's a lot of room for interpretation in these guidelines. Generally, if a food has ingredients you wouldn't use in home cooking, additives and stabilizers with long names, for example, then it's probably an ultra-processed items. The system doesn't classify foods based on nutritional content within them. For example, Mountain Dew is ultra-processed, which has next to zero nutritional benefit, but there are many brands of multigrain bread which contain fiber, vitamins, and even some protein. This, nutritionist like Dr. Williams says, brings the validity of ultra-processed foods as a label into question. Dr. Carolyn O'Connor, a Texas A&M epidemiologist who formerly worked at the Department of Agriculture and the NIH, told the New York Times that certain kinds of UPFs are much more harmful than others. Agreed. So grouping them all together makes it a lot less accurate of a measure. Agreed. Sadly, this is valid. Why does she talk like that? Until we have one definition for ultra-processed, the body of evidence won't provide a clear answer. Connie Diekman, a registered dietitian who practices in Missouri, said in an X replying to DGAC's findings. Another issue that DGAC seems to have is that many of the studies they felt were robust enough to include in their review have taken place in other countries. Only one study has been performed in a lab. Without lab studies of a topic, it's just difficult for scientists to conclude that ultra-processed foods are definitely causing health problems. Some commentators are striking back at the report, saying it doesn't address many of the other concerns people have about processed foods. UPFs have been linked to type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and mental health issues, a 2024 review from Australian researchers Deakin University found. The review looked at older studies spanning roughly 10 million people in total and found that UPFs could be related to a number of bad health outcomes. The study was valuable and increased Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health nutritionist Josimer Maddie's belief that ultra-processed foods could be a serious problem. The report also doesn't seem to address the concern these foods have been linked to cancer. A 2023 study from Imperial College London found the more ultra-processed foods people eat, the more likely they were to develop cancer. Let me explain that. Here's why I think they're getting more cancer, and I don't think it's the ultra-processed foods. And I know a lot of you guys are going to disagree with me. Hear me out. Don't kill me for this, okay? Don't do it. I think it's because most people who eat ultra-processed foods are fat. And being fat is literally linked to fucking being a comorbidity for fucking cancer and heart disease and everything. At the end of it, if you eat ultra-processed foods, you're going to get fucking fat. If you're fucking fat, you're going to get something else and you're going to fucking die. That's just how this works. Eating highly sugary and fatty foods might dampen the effects of our genes that protect against cancer. A 2024 report from Singapore found, this is actually, by the way, Daily Mail, fucking exquisite written, balanced article. Everybody. Round of applause for the Daily Mail. It's underspammable that people would read this portion of DGAC's report and react angrily, Dr. Williams said. It doesn't seem in line with what most people have been hearing recently, but it represents how the science works. The science, not just science, not the science. The science is completely different. The science is taking everything you know about science and having some little fucking garden gnome looking motherfucker say, no, this is the science. That's not the science. This is the science. In her opinion, and many other dietitians, these foods likely have contributed to some of the public health problems we've been seeing in the U.S., but science is a slow process and the body of research isn't definitively there yet, she said. The report merely highlights that ultra-processed foods need to be investigated further. She added, this is really what you want. You don't want your federal committee jumping to conclusions. I actually, I don't mind the committee's findings. I don't mind them. Don't mind them at all. I think it's like, hey, we don't really have a definition, but I do think we need to tell people that, like, let's use common sense. Which is more healthy, an apple or a fucking Twinkie? This isn't fucking hard. Unfortunately, guys, I got to tell you, people are fucking stupid. So if the government says that, oh, they're all fine. Dude, I'm not saying legislate, like I'm a small government guy. I'm saying let's just use some fucking better wording, right? Like, hey, you fat motherfucker, eat the apple. Eat the apple. So I'm going to go to another article that kind of goes over another thing that can happen. And this is actually, they cite studies, right? I don't know, Zoe.com. I don't know this fucking site. but it has some studies in it. So I'm like, fuck it, let's pull this up. Let's get all in one. One of the most, so where the fuck was it? Ultra processed foods have gone through a certain amount of industrial processing. Labels have a laundry list of ingredients. Many of you, this is exactly what it said. It's shit you wouldn't find in your kitchen. Consuming lots of these products. Who wrote this? A fucking third grader? Linked to heart disease, cancer, and increased risk of death. And there's some good studies here. Basically, cognitive decline, dementia, all linked to ultra processed foods, poor health outcomes, risk of significant cognitive decline, dementia. One of the most recent studies was published in late 22. It was the Elsa Brazil study they cited before. So it recruited public servants aged 35 to 74. After analyzing data, the scientists conclude participants who reported consumption of UPFs more than 19.9% of daily calories had a 28% faster rate of cognitive decline compared to those who reported consumption of ultra-processed foods up to 19.9% of daily calories. So basically 19.9 and lower versus 9.9 and above. So okay. I did this in a video today about intermittent fasting, and I'm going to just pull it out here. I'm whipping it out, guys. I'm pulling it out. And I had a vasectomy. I am so bad at pulling out. I literally had surgical intervention to prevent having to ever do it again. But I'm going to pull out just this one time. I'm going to pull it out, guys. I don't think it's ultra-processed foods. I think that ultra-processed foods are calorically dense. Just like intermittent fasting. Why did the lean gain study show weight loss? All you had to do is read the fucking conclusion. You didn't even have to read the body of the text, which I did. They ate 250 less calories a day. Guys, it's pretty fucking simple. Being fat is a death sentence. Being fat is basically being sentenced to death, whether it's instant execution or a long-term rotting in prison in your own fat, constrained, inflamed body. Obesity will fucking kill you. Ultra-processed foods do not satiate you. They create a dopamine response, which makes you want to eat more. They create an insulin response, which makes you want to eat more. And they are very calorically dense. People who eat ultra-processed foods are also ultra-fucking fat. It all comes down to weight. So keto works because you're eating less calories. You're gaining less weight. You're less fat. You're going to have better health outcomes. You're going to have better blood pressure. You're going to have better cholesterol. You're going to have better lipids. You're going to have better everything because you're not fat. Yes, skinny people can be unhealthy too. However, overwhelmingly, and this is a large, and I mean large, very large portion of people who are fat are going to be way more unhealthy than people who are not fat. At the end of the day, we should discourage the use of ultra-processed foods as a main source of nutrition. We should limit it to treats. We should limit it to special events. We should limit it to, I don't know, maybe it's fucking 6 o'clock and you just want a treat. But we shouldn't have people build their fucking diets on ultra-processed foods. And that's what I'm afraid that, reports like this or studies like this do. We need to kind of state why this happens. Ultra-processed foods, they're yummy. They're lacking nutrition, but they are abundant in calories and they will cause you to get fat. On that note, it is about that time. I'm going to go to the chat, answer all of your questions, all of them. First, let's go to this ad, guys. Enjoy. Every few years, we get a new version of creatine. Creatine HCl, creatine ethyl ester, you name it, there's a new creatine. But one stands out as the best, as the tried and true, and that's creatine monohydrate. But not all creatines are created equal. Most of the creatine comes from China. I'm not saying anything bad about Chinese ingredients. A lot of them are great. But if I'm taking creatine, the most important, most beneficial, most amazing, most studied supplement, I want to get it from the most pure source. I want to get it from the source where all the studies that we cite were done on. And that is CreaPure creatine. So that's why I came out with my own brand of MTS Nutrition CreaPure Creatine. Not only are you getting the CreaPure branded creatine, but you're also getting it from a source that you know tested coming in, going out from MTS Nutrition, the brand you love, the brand you trust. And by buying from us, you're buying it from a company who supports you and here to help you reach your goals. Support companies who love you, support companies who don't hate you. If you take creatine, take MTS Nutrition CreaPure Creatine, I can say this with the certainty, with the utmost certainty, that this is the best creatine you can buy, period. All right, guys. So just for the next day, we're going to keep it going. 10% off everything on tigerfitness.com. Coupon code is Katie. Katie, coupon code Katie. It was my wife's birthday yesterday. We're celebrating her being older than me because I am younger and she is a cougar, and we are celebrating it by giving you 10% off everything on Tiger Fitness. Tomorrow evening, we will have Ambrosia restocked. We will have Planta in stock. We will have No Morbidity. We will have Allen's No Morbidity and Alchemy in stock. So guys, really excited to have that. So with that being said, guys, let's get to the chat. And before I go, I got to say one more time, please support us. Go to tigerfitness.com, guys. We love you, and we would love your business. First, LOL, what's up, JoJo? What's up, LSDK in the house? LSDK, remember last year when they said cereal is healthier than chicken? They did the whole new food pyramid. It was an official thing from the government. If you ever want to see some really dumb shit, generally just watch the government work. It's really profound. They want you sick and weak, says Jarella. Same reason they said fitness culture is right wing. They want you to say, wow, I don't want to be thought of like that. Better stay away. Well, I am the greatest Jewish white supremacist to ever walk this earth. I am the first Jew to wear a yarmulke and a swastika. Actually, I have a swastika in my yarmulke. That's how right wing I am. Did you hear the so-called chief commander's recent rambles from CH? We are building $1 zillion merry-go-round or whatever he said. Man, it's getting really fucking bad, isn't it, guys? By the way, if you want to hear my political rants, I want you to join me in about an hour and 10 minutes. That's an hour and 10 minutes, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on rumble.com/Tiger Fitness, rumble.com/Tiger Fitness. Evening rants, myself and Alan Roberts. We go for about an hour and a half, and it is a great time, and it's a political show. If you don't like politics, don't watch it. I wonder if those so-called diet professionals are chosen based on gender and or race, with competence being the lowest criteria as long as they fit the type. I'm going to leave it at that. CH, you know they don't eat ultra-processed foods, said Jarella. They're eating Wagyu beef and vegetables while telling us to eat bugs and Lucky Charms. Jarella, you are cool. From Vanessa A, those dietitians, whatever, are definitely affirmative action hired. Well, I think we know who my audience is today. It's funny because, man, I've been doing this YouTube game since 2011, and I'm a 90s Democrat. Like, I'm pro-choice. There's a lot of things. I mean, I'm a fucking Jew from LA, right? Like, come on. But like right now, being that I did do what I did in 2020 and, stood up for freedom, and my views haven't changed since 1990. That's the crazy thing. But the Democrat Party used to be the party of no war, right? And they used to be the party of just like, leave me the fuck alone, like freedom. And now they're the party of tyranny. Even Rage Against the Machine joined the machine and told us all that we should be forced to get this shot in our arm to be able to participate in society. Rage Against the Machine. I'll punch him in the face. CH, Jarella, yes, something like that. They're not looking out for our health. Oh, here we go. Never trust government or globalist comments. I never trust government when it comes to health. Well, I mean, bro, your name is literally never trust government. I mean, I'm just making a crazy guess here. CH, sick, weak, ignorant, and scared people are easily controlled. Or just tribal people. I mean, look at the people at the protests. Did you guys see the clash between the pro-Hamas people and the Pride Parade? Now, that was funny. CH, never forget that 50 years ago, doctors all said cigarettes are perfectly healthy. Don't let a medical suit or whatever deceive you. Common sense goes a long way. Jarella, context matters. Whey protein is good, ultra-processed. Twinkies not good. Amen. Never trust government. It's up to you to make the right health choices on food, not the government. Amen. Funny mashups and more. Would you ever go hang out with Tony Hughes and gang if you weren't married with kids? Well, I'm married with kids. That's an irrelevant question. If I wasn't married with kids, you know what the fuck? I don't know. I'd be a different person. Be a different person. Gone fishing, puts LOL with some knives. Funny mashups. Trust the science, just another buzz phrase like, come on, just take a little hit. It's not addictive. You want to be with the cool kids, don't you? Amen. Never trust government or global. The problem with government scientists, they can be paid to lie to the public about what's healthy. I think we just saw that. I think we just saw that in 2020. Jarella, those are the effects of obesity, irrespective of food that got them there. Amen, Jarella. Amen. Funny mashups. Who wrote this? A third grader is sadly a phrase I also notice myself in daily life. That's what happens when employers value competence as the last priority. Amen to that. Jarella, but that doesn't mollycoddle people and tell them it's not their fault and our victims. Vote for me. Joseph Trumanelli, the system is set up to make these ultra-processed foods addictive, so it continues to lower our vibrations and functions. I don't know what the fuck a vibration and function is, but I agree. They want to make it addictive to sell more, though. I think McDonald's wants their shit addictive, so you buy more Big Macs. That's capitalism at work, my friend. Jarella, every weekend isn't a special occasion. Yeah, you're right. You're right, but sometimes you just want a little Laffy Taffy, you know? Joseph Tuminelli, like they said, you have the easy way and you have the hard way. With the way society is headed, weakness, the decision will majority be the answer. The easy decision will majority. I don't know what that means. Funny match. Hey, Mark, sorry, it's me. No, it's with a C. What do you think about those people who get mad at their doctors being honest with them, like trying to sue for fat shaming? If you're fat, you need to be told you're fat. You're going to fucking die from being fat. Stop being fat. I mean, it's a pretty simple proposition. If you're fat, you're more likely to die. If a doctor doesn't tell you you're fat, that doctor should lose his license. Drell, I think I find you via Alan in 2020. That's when Alan and I really linked up. Now we're business partners. Who would have thought? It's pretty awesome, right? He's my best friend. CH, what kind of ingredients do you suspect McDonald's might be adding that are potentially addictive? It doesn't have to be really addictive. Anything that creates a dopamine response. Just simple flavorings are addictive. You can be addicted to anything that causes a negative or positive reaction because that'll cause a dopamine release. So everything can be addictive. Everything. Watch the show My Strange Addiction. I think it's on Netflix now. It was on, I think, Lifetime. Fantastic show. Anyway, guys, that's it for the day. Appreciate you guys watching. I truly, truly do. Truly, truly appreciate you. I'm going to leave you with another ad because it's the end. And again, if you can, shop at tigerfitness.com. Please support us. We really appreciate everything you guys do. We appreciate everything about you. You guys are the best. You guys are, man, you're why we live, man. But thank you so much. I'm going to leave you with this. You guys have a great rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know about you guys, but I do not use a briefcase at work. I use a backpack. I can put my food in there. I can put my laptop in there. I also like to carry these things to the gym. I put my clothes in there. I'll put food in there. I'll put my belt in there. I wanted to create the perfect tactical backpack, whether you're going to the office or you're going to the gym. So we created these tactical backpacks from Tiger Fitness. We have a computer compartment here. Look how big that is. You know how much you can fit in there? Got another area right here. You can put all your food, whatever you want, your outright bars. You can put jerky, put whatever you want in there. And there's front pockets for even more stuff. Plus, here you can put your drink, your shaker cups, your drinks over here. So we have white. Check it out. Right here, you can put whatever patches you want. And we even got different patches you can put on there. Right now, I got the Scratch logo. Nobody cares, work harder. And we got different options. If you want to go simple, you go with this black one. But I'll tell you what, this white one goes hard. Got the Nobody Cares Work Harder, the Scratch. On this one, we have the Tiger Fitness deadlifting logo, the vintage one. All these other patches to choose from that you can put on there do work. Nothing works unless you do. Property of Tiger Fitness. Nothing works unless you do right here. So many different options. This is the perfect bag. This would cost you over $100. We got it for under $50. Anyway, guys, I'm so excited about these. Go ahead and get one now, tigerfitness.com while supplies last. And trust me, whether going to the gym, whether going to the office, this is the perfect backpack for you.